Hi, Brett. So tell me what's going on.
Just still working with the breakup and job loss, and it's been almost a year now, so.
It's a long time. And so a while ago we did sort of a check-in about, I had this mental checklist that I was talking to you about. I want to check into that now, because there's something that seems different about you than a few weeks ago or a couple of months ago. So I'm sorry, I'm suppressing this. Yeah, that he's he instead of she, but yeah, there's a lot different about you.
For so much.
Okay, stop. Okay. So with that mental checklist that I have, I want to check in with how's sleep now?
I probably get an average about 4 hours.
So not going well. And appetite?
Just haven't had any.
Not much of an appetite, and that's a shift because you had some appetite before, but no, this is. And so, how about suicidal thoughts?
I mean, I've thought about it.
Yeah. What have you thought about?
I mean, it'd be just wondering like who'd show up at the funeral and stuff like that.
And with the suicidal thoughts, who'd show up at the funeral? Do you have a specific plan?
No, I don't plan it. But just wonder if anybody cared.
That's really the content. It's like, wonder if anybody would care. Would people show up? And underlying that is the sense of, why am I even here?
Yeah.
So why aren't you here?
I don't know.
That's the big question.
Yeah.
And what I'd like for us to do is to spend some time really exploring that, figuring out what's going on underneath all of this. So one of the things that I want to talk to you about too is the possibility of being evaluated for medication. We didn't talk about that before, but let's do a check-in on that scale, 0 to 10, 10 being hopeful. Where are you now?
10 being hopeful.
Yeah, 10 being hopeful.
2.
You're at about a 2. All right. So what's making it a 2?
I mean, it's been a year. I still can't find another job. My ex is getting married. She just got engaged.
So it's sort of to add insult to injury. You didn't get chosen. You can't find a job, and your ex is marrying somebody else.
Yeah, a lot of rejection.
Yeah, a lot of rejection. And so you've had some suicidal thoughts, and I don't mean to kind of be really zero in on this, but I need to because that's part of my job. I do want to zero in on what the thoughts actually are, because I've heard some kind of general, but what? Tell me more about the thoughts that you've had, and when you've had them.
It's usually at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. It's just like, well, I was talking about just like, would anybody care? Or is,
Okay. And so, because you're at this kind of point, what I'm going to do is I didn't even bring the paper with me, but this is one of those things that I have in my head. I do have a safety. It's not a contract, but it's a safety plan that what we're going to do is on a scale from 0 to 10. Right now, you're at a 10. We're going to shift the scale. Okay, we're going to flip it because. The 10 is the intensity of the feelings of sadness and hopelessness. So we're flipping it now. Okay? Where are you 0 to 10 on that scale? You're about an 8 or 9. And so the 8 then, that has me worried. I'm worried that you're having suicidal thoughts. Bad news is you're having suicidal thoughts. Good news is I haven't heard a plan. So tell me if you have a plan.
I mean, now I just, you know, there's tall buildings, I don't know, I like stuff like that, but I
Okay.
don't like
Where's the closest tall building?
downtown.
Okay. How often do you go downtown? Not very often. So if you were to go downtown, you have any idea how you'd get there?
I mean, it's not that far.
The fact that you have to think about it, that's good news to me. Okay, so, but this is really a tough place to be. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna create a plan that, that kind of gets you some specific strategies for, now that you're at an 8, steps that you can take. And the hardest thing when you're at this level of hopelessness and sadness, it's hard to take steps because most people don't have a lot of energy to do it. But there are going to be things that are relatively easy. So what I want is for us to say, at an 8, where you are now, there are some things that you're going to do that will be helpful to you. And one of those is come to your sessions. Right? Is that something that you could agree to? Okay. So another one is, so you said before that you were reaching out to friends. How's that now?
I mean, it's okay, I mean, well, no, it's not great, they're all married.
Okay,
They've got
and that kind of is a
kids,
reminder.
and it's just like, they don't have time.
So what I'd like for us to do is identify 1 or 2 friends who aren't triggers. Because that's sort of a trigger too, oh, they're married, that makes me think about, I could have been married, because I didn't hear you say that, but that's kind of the flavor of what you're getting at here.
Well, it just seems like they don't have time for me.
They don't have time for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So who of your friendship circle has time for you?
I don't know, Chris.
Okay. And so on your list of things that you can do, if you start feeling yourself shitty, is to call Chris, get some support. Let's figure out a couple other things, right? Things that have been helpful in the past and what could be helpful now, because you're going to take this with you, right? What's on that? What else has been helpful? Even for a few
past.
minutes. Pardon?
In the past?
Yeah.
Working out, I just haven't had the energy.
Yeah, I'm out of the energy to do it. Okay. So who do you know that could be helpful? Because before you talked about friends that you could walk with. So who were you walking with before?
Brad.
Okay.
Jason.
And what's happened with them?
Well, they're married. I don't know. It's just.
All right. So what's happening is that you're saying that they don't have time for you.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that there's a part of you that disconnected too.
Yeah.
And what would happen if you got reconnected and say, you know, I could really use your help?
I mean, they're good guys, I'm sure.
Sometimes people just want to be helpful.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that you would have people around you that would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you if you would be willing to put one or both of them that you could call and say, would you hold me accountable to work out today or tomorrow?
Okay.
What do you think about that?
That's fine.
Okay, so we'll put, you said Brad or?
Jason.
Jason. Okay, so you're gonna call Brad or Jason to schedule time to work out. That way you have something to look forward to as well. Anything else that we wanna put on this list? Okay. And so that's part of what we can talk about is some other strategies that you can use that would shift your mood and your thoughts. Okay. And the other things that we're gonna add to this list is, so you're at an 8 at this point. 9 is danger. So at a 9, we're gonna fill some things in. At a 9, you're going to call a friend. So at a 9 means that you have, it's bumped up in terms of intensity. It means that you'll call a friend. It means too that you'll continue to come to counseling. So what's gonna happen is if you don't show up, then I'm gonna make an assumption. And the assumption that I'm gonna make is that you're not okay. And I have your contact information. And so what I need you to do is to call me back if I call you. But I also am gonna put my contact information on here. So you are welcome to call and just check in. How does that sit with you?
Sounds good.
So between sessions, you can call and check in, and we can talk more about frequency and that sort of thing. What would be the best time for that to happen? Okay? And the other thing on here is if it really intensifies, so at a 10, you need to call 911 and get yourself to the closest emergency room. And if you can't call 911, call somebody who can call 911. Deal? So that's the plan. So knowing that there's a plan, how does that sit with you?
Good.
Some people have felt comforted, other people have said, oh, whew, I know what to do now.
I mean, yeah, a little bit of comfort, yeah.
Right. And so our job is, if anything changes, what I need you to let me know if anything changes. So the next time that you come in, what I want you to do is to let me know where you are on that scale, okay? So you could say it's an 8-day, or it's a 7-day, or it's a 6-day. Oh my goodness, it's a 5-day, or whatever it might be for you, okay? Questions? So I'm gonna actually keep the original, and you're gonna take a copy with it so that you can actually fold it up and put it in your wallet or in a pocket, okay? So the rest of today, then, what we'll do is to work on some specific skills that you could, or things that you can do that would help you change your mood.